Do many of us consider that a regular shower taken at a certain time can be deadly, especially for people over 70? This is an invisible threat that most don't even suspect. The information you learn in the next few minutes may be crucial to your life or the lives of your loved ones. We will talk about when showering becomes most risky for the elderly and about the simple but important changes that need to be made to the daily routine to protect themselves and their relatives. Last month, Stanley Peterson, a 75-year-old resident of a suburb of Boston, led an active and healthy lifestyle. He exercised regularly, monitored his health by visiting doctors, and was proud of his independence. However, one morning his daughter Jennifer found him unconscious in the bathroom. It turned out that Stanley was taking a shower at the very moment that, according to medical experts, is the most dangerous time of day. This decision, unfortunately, cost him his life. The most tragic thing about this story is that his family could not imagine that such an ordinary procedure could be life-threatening. Stanley's story is a warning to everyone over 70 who does not have the information that will be presented below. Perhaps you or someone you know is showering at the most dangerous time. Let's not waste a minute and move on to the vital information you need to know right now. The ominous window of time for showering in the elderly. It turns out that a normal morning hygiene procedure can be dangerous. Showering in the early morning hours, specifically between 4 and 8 a.m., increases the risk of fatal accidents by as much as 80% in people over 70. Is the human body really set against him at these specific hours? Medical researchers from the prestigious Harvard Medical School have made an important discovery. Blood pressure regulation is most unstable in the morning hours. This physiological fact significantly increases the likelihood of falls and dangerous cardiovascular events such as strokes and heart attacks. Dr. Richard Thompson, a prominent researcher in geriatric cardiovascular health, explains, "The early morning hours create a perfect storm of physiological vulnerabilities for older adults. Blood pressure tends to drop at night and then rise sharply in the morning hours, causing what is known as the morning surge. This makes the time between 4 and 8 a.m. especially dangerous for activities that further strain the cardiovascular system, such as showering." Consider the story of Doris Williams, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Philadelphia. She usually woke up early and started her day with an invigorating shower at 6 a.m. One morning, while showering, she suddenly felt dizzy, which led to a fall and a broken hip, requiring her to be hospitalized for several weeks. Doctors later explained that the timing of her morning shower was likely a major factor contributing to the incident. As an immediate precaution, it is recommended to move the shower time to mid-morning between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m., when the body's physiological systems are in a more stable and alert state. Don't put this change off. It is recommended to immediately take a piece of paper and attach it to the mirror in the bathroom with a new, safer shower schedule. Being willing to make this simple change can be a decisive factor in maintaining health and safety. After 70, this becomes not just a recommendation, but a necessity. The second important aspect to consider is the danger associated with body temperature regulation. As we age, the body may react differently to hot showers. You may have noticed that you feel more lightheaded than before during a hot shower. According to the American Journal of Geriatric Medicine, older adults after the age of 70 lose the ability to regulate body temperature effectively. This makes exposure to hot water especially dangerous, given the natural decrease in body temperature in the early morning hours. Dr. Amanda Chen, a specialist in geriatric thermophysiology, emphasizes, "As we age, our bodies lose the ability to quickly adapt to changes in temperature. This is especially noticeable in the early morning hours, when body temperature is naturally at its lowest. Sudden exposure to heat from a hot shower creates a cardiovascular load that the body of many older adults simply cannot safely handle." The story of Albert Reynolds, an 83-year-old retired accountant, serves as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk in the most mundane situations. After surviving a near-fatal heart attack triggered by the thermal shock of his usual morning shower, Albert was diagnosed with arrhythmia. Until that moment, he had no idea that his morning ritual could be life-threatening. His cardiologist explained that the combination of timing and water temperature created a critical situation that, fortunately, could have been prevented. As immediate precautions, it's suggested to lower the shower water temperature to warm, 95-100 degrees Fahrenheit, and install an anti-scald device. This simple investment, costing around $20, could be crucial in saving a life. Don't delay this important matter. Immediately after viewing this material, it is recommended to seek assistance from a son, daughter, neighbor, or handyman to install the necessary devices. Problems with temperature regulation can manifest suddenly when a crisis has already struck. Another important aspect to consider is the timing of medication and the risk associated with taking a shower. Blood pressure medications that a person takes can turn a morning shower into a deadly trap. Cardiologists at the Mayo Clinic warn that common blood pressure medications reach peak effectiveness in the early morning hours, creating a dangerous double effect of falling pressure in combination with showering. Dr. Michael Ramirez, Director of Geriatric Cardiology at the Mayo Clinic, emphasizes that many elderly people take medication immediately after waking up, not realizing that this exacerbates the natural drop in blood pressure that occurs during a shower. This synchronization of effects can lead to reduced blood flow to the brain, causing fainting in the shower, a place where loss of consciousness is particularly dangerous. The story of 76-year-old Patricia Sullivan, a caring grandmother of 5, serves as a vivid example of the importance of being mindful of medication timing. For a long time, she did not suspect that her morning dizziness was related to taking lisinopril just before showering. Only a doctor's explanation helped her realize that taking the medicine before her morning shower created a dangerous situation fraught with falls. A simple adjustment to her schedule, moving her shower time to midday and separating medication intake and showering by a 3-hour interval, completely eliminated Patricia's dizziness. This case underscores the need to immediately consult a doctor to review the medication schedule, taking into account shower times. Experts recommend avoiding showering for 2 hours after taking blood pressure regulating drugs. Developing a clear medication schedule that considers the intervals between taking medications and showering can be crucial in preventing accidents in the bathroom. The question naturally arises: can such a minor change in schedule prevent a tragedy in the bathroom? The answer is a resounding yes. The bathroom, seemingly safe in daylight, harbors hidden dangers, especially at certain hours. Research conducted by the National Institute on Aging shows that visual acuity in older adults over 70 decreases by 60% in low-light conditions, making movement in the bathroom in the early morning hours extremely risky. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a geriatric ophthalmologist, notes that most elderly people do not realize how much their vision deteriorates in low-light conditions with age. The bathroom, already a high-risk zone due to slippery surfaces, becomes especially dangerous in the pre-dawn hours when contrast sensitivity is at its lowest. The story of Gregory Harrison, an 81-year-old retired mailman, serves as a cautionary tale about the unforeseen dangers lurking for seniors in their own homes. One morning before dawn, Gregory was showering and didn't notice water on the floor. The fall resulted in a broken hip, severely limiting his mobility and independence. "If only I had waited until dawn," he later noted with bitterness, realizing that he could have avoided the tragic fall by simply waiting for better lighting. Given this sad experience, immediate steps must be taken to improve bathroom safety for the elderly. It is recommended to install motion sensor nightlights that automatically turn on, illuminating the path and reducing the risk of tripping. In addition, the use of non-slip mats in bright, contrasting colors will help improve visibility and prevent slipping even in low-light conditions. It's important to note that these simple and inexpensive changes should be made immediately, without delay, as their cost is negligible compared to the potential consequences of a fall. Have you ever considered what your bathroom looks like through the eyes of an elderly person with impaired vision at night? Unfortunately, most people don't pay attention to this until it's too late. Another factor increasing the risk of falls in the bathroom is morning dehydration. Geriatric specialists from Johns Hopkins University explain that the body loses moisture overnight, and elderly people often wake up dehydrated. Combined with the need to stand while showering, this creates ideal conditions for orthostatic hypotension, a sudden and dangerous drop in blood pressure. Dr. William Parker, a leading researcher in geriatric hydration, emphasizes that many elderly people don't realize how dehydrated they are when they wake up. A hot shower exacerbates the problem, causing blood to flow to the legs and reducing blood flow to the brain, which significantly increases the risk of falling, especially in the morning hours. The story of Leonard Sullivan, a 77-year-old man, serves as a vivid illustration of how a simple adjustment to a daily routine can dramatically change quality of life and prevent serious consequences. Leonard couldn't understand why he felt fine in the evening, but suffered from dizziness during his morning shower. His geriatrician offered the solution, explaining the impact of dehydration on the safety of bathing. Once Leonard started drinking a glass of water before showering, the dizziness disappeared as if it had never been there. It's such a simple solution to a problem that could have been fatal, Leonard shared, regretting that he hadn't known about it sooner. There's a valuable lesson to be learned from this story. Experts recommend making it a mandatory ritual to drink a glass of water 15 minutes before showering, regardless of the time of day. A bottle of water, thoughtfully placed in the bathroom, will serve as a reminder of this vital step. You can start tomorrow morning. This simple habit can prevent a catastrophic fall, which is especially dangerous for the elderly. It's worth considering whether you're willing to add this minor but potentially life-saving element to your daily routine. The choice seems obvious. However, in addition to the immediate danger of falling, there's another important factor to consider: emergency response time. Statistics show that if a fall occurs during an early morning shower, the likelihood of timely assistance decreases by 40%. Have you thought about the consequences if you can't call for help after falling in the bathroom? Emergency medicine reports indicate that response times to falls among the elderly are significantly longer in the early morning hours when household members are still asleep and checks are less frequent. Dr. Emily Rodriguez, an emergency room physician specializing in geriatric trauma, emphasizes the critical importance of the golden hour of survival after a serious fall. According to her, elderly people who fall early in the morning often go unattended for extended periods, which drastically worsens the prognosis. The combination of potential hypothermia from wet skin, the inability to call for help, and reduced household activity in the morning creates a particularly dangerous situation. The story of Beatrice Harper, a 73-year-old widow who tragically fell in the shower early one morning, serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of foresight. The incident occurred at 5 a.m., and the unfortunate woman spent 4 long hours helpless before she was discovered. Doctors stated that timely discovery might have prevented the development of severe hypothermia if Beatrice had showered later in the day, when the likelihood of her being visited by neighbors or relatives would have been higher. This incident caused Beatrice to rethink her daily routine. She now strictly adheres to a mid-morning shower schedule and has arranged regular check-ins with neighbors. As an immediate precaution, it's recommended to install a waterproof emergency call button in the shower area. In addition, regular phone calls with family or neighbors should be scheduled. especially if showering during early hours becomes necessary. Such precautions not only provide peace of mind, but can also be a deciding factor between life and death. It's worth asking, how long will it take for someone to find you if you fall at 5 a.m.? For many elderly people, the answer can be frightening. Another important aspect to consider is the impact of early morning showers on cognitive function and safety. Neurological studies conducted at Stanford University have revealed that cognitive abilities in older adults reach their lowest point between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. During this time, reaction time slows down by up to 30% compared to midday. Dr. Jonathan Miller, a neurologist specializing in the effects of circadian rhythms on brain function, notes that cognitive processing speed, decision-making, and reaction time are significantly impaired in the early morning hours, especially in individuals over 65 years old. This creates a dangerous situation, especially when combined with tasks that require vigilance and quick reactions, such as adjusting water temperature or responding to slippery surfaces. Consider the harrowing story of 79-year-old Franklin Wilson, a man who was usually known for his clear mind and alertness. One morning, while showering at 6 a.m., he didn't realize the water had become scalding hot. This resulted in severe burns requiring emergency hospitalization. "At noon, I would have instantly felt the temperature change," Franklin later admitted, "but at that early hour, my brain wasn't fully functioning." As a precaution, the following plan is suggested. Establish a fixed time for showering between 10 am and 2 p.m., when cognitive functions are at their peak. Use a shower timer with an alarm function to limit shower time, especially during periods when your alertness may be reduced. Implement these changes into your daily routine immediately. After all, your brain's functionality determines whether you can stay on your feet if you slip or whether the fall turns into a catastrophe. Ask yourself, are you putting yourself at unnecessary risk by showering at a time when your brain is least capable of ensuring your safety? Is the convenience of an early morning shower worth the potential threat to your life? The scientific evidence is clear. Showering between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. after the age of 70 is a game of Russian roulette with your health. However, now armed with this knowledge, you can protect yourself and your loved ones. It is now absolutely clear why choosing the wrong time to shower can pose a serious threat to the lives of people over 70, and what specific steps should be taken to ensure your own safety. Making minor adjustments to your routine, such as avoiding morning showers, installing additional safety devices in the bathroom, maintaining optimal hydration levels, and considering the timing of medication can literally save lives. Independence and safety in old age are not mutually exclusive if a person has sufficient information and is willing to take the necessary precautions immediately.